Hi everybody, it's Lunaria Lashes and Beauty here. So today I am just going to be doing something a little more simple with my look. I'm going to use the Milk Hydro Grip Primer. I've just started using this. I quite like it. So I have had an exceptionally rough start to my day. Oh my god, I'm exhausted. So my baby decided last night that he didn't feel like sleeping, and normally he sleeps through the night completely fine. But last night, or this morning more like, he woke up at 4 a.m. And I tried to put him back to sleep, but he was not having it. He really, really wanted to nurse because I still nurse. So I just brought him into bed with me, I let him nurse, and then he kind of nursed on and off for quite a while. And then he, of course, was like, booby juice, breast milk is, it's like his coffee. Oh, I'm using the Studio FX underneath my eyes for primer. So his breast milk is like his coffee. And when he gets it, he is like, something in my eye, he's like wired. And he is ready to go for the day. And obviously I can't deny him breast milk just because I'm tired. So I have had a bad start. So we got up at 4, he nursed for quite a while, around 5, around now it's closer to 4:30, 4:30-ish, 4:40. He took my phone and he threw it, like chucked it, and it fell behind my bed. And I managed to get it back, and I was like, okay. But then, of course, he wanted my phone because he likes to play with my phone. So I gave him my phone with the screen turned off, and he chucked it behind the bed. Well, this time I got lost. My bed is super heavy, and I'm by myself. So then I fought for about 30 minutes with my damn bed to try and fish my phone out, which I managed to fish out. And then I have to go to the bathroom. So I have an ensuite bathroom. I'm walking to my bathroom, and my dog, his bed, one of my dogs, his bed is on the floor. And I honestly thought he was in bed with me because he sleeps under the blankets. He is a whippet. Well, I was wrong, and I just about broke his legs. I stepped on him, to which, of course, I realized I stepped on his legs. So then I fell forward, just about broke my neck, falling into the wall. So that was great. By this time, I'm exhausted and I'm frustrated, so I just kind of like start screaming. And I look over, my poor baby just has this look of like terror in his eyes. I wasn't yelling at him, I was just standing there just like, ah, because I was so frustrated. He just looked so upset, and he like had his lip all down and his eyes were filling with tears, and of course then I felt terrible for getting frustrated. So I just walked over and I snuggled him, and I managed to snuggle him for like almost an hour. So by this time it's closer to 6, then he's up and he's ready to get moving. So we did that. We're up, we're moving. He's ready for breakfast. So I bring him out to the living room, get him some breakfast, and that's all fine. Then my 13-year-old daughter, who just got her braces put on yesterday, so she comes upstairs and she's in a lot of pain because her mouth hurts. I didn't have braces, so I honestly had absolutely no idea what to expect. They told us that she would be sore and uncomfortable. I mean, I guess they don't really want to be like, yeah, it's gonna hurt really, really, really bad and scare people. So I didn't think she'd be in this much pain, to be honest. Like, everyone said that the first couple of days hurt, but she's like in an exceptional amount of pain. I get her meds, I make her a smoothie and trying to help and do all this, and I look over at my baby, who's still eating away happily. I literally start cleaning my kitchen from the night before because I didn't do it because I was just too tired. I look over and he's asleep in his high chair. So he's currently in bed sleeping. Thank God, because just really I'm tired. I'm tired, and I'm like, I need to focus on some beauty stuff and some lash stuff. Well, yeah, so that's kind of where we're at. So, something that I really wanted to kind of touch on that a lot of people, especially nowadays with blended families, maybe they can kind of understand kind of what's going on or where I'm kind of coming from. I myself actually come from a blended family. My parents were married until I was about almost 11, and then they split and ended up getting divorced, and it was just me and my brother at the time, and we had each other, so it was okay. It was hard, but we got through it, and then my mom ended up having two more babies. So we got two beautiful little sisters who we love to death. So coming from a blended family is nothing like really new to me. So when I met my now husband, I honestly was kind of just like, yeah, like I can do this. I come from a blended family myself, and I love having siblings. I really like kids. So I felt like I could really, really do this. But I tell you, like, going from a blended family with siblings and I had my brother and my two sisters who are of course blood related to me, but my mom's last guy, who's the father of our youngest sister, he came into the relationship with two kids, and that was a very complicated, very tricky situation. Unfortunately, we didn't always all get along, except for my brother. My brother gets along with everybody. But it was a little bit harder. Now, going from that to stepmom is like completely different and completely polar opposite. And I had never been in a relationship with a guy who had children before. I was 25 when I met my now husband. I was with my ex for way too long. That's a whole other story. So, like I said, my ex is like a whole other story. Before I keep going, I'm going to use the Morphe 35 SX No Silent Nights. This is their new palette. Again, like, I love it, and I just want to try like literally every single color. This is so ridiculously beautiful. It's looking like it may not be like a terrible day outside, weather-wise, but it doesn't look like it's going to be like, it also doesn't look like it's going to be the most beautiful day. Yesterday was absolutely gorgeous, and I spent the majority of the day outside. So I'm going to start with All Is Bright. That's this guy right here. And I'm going to use that one as my transition color. Okay, so anyways, so going from sibling to stepmother instead of stepsister was incredibly different and incredibly difficult, but so rewarding. Like, I love my stepdaughter, and I would not change it for anything. I don't know if I mentioned in my last video, but I do normally refer to her as my daughter because she asked me to, and which of course I'm happy to oblige, because I do think of her as my daughter. I wouldn't think of her as anything less. Next, I'm going to try this Major Mauves. This one right here. It looks really pretty. And I'm also going to be putting this kind of like as a transition. So like in my crease, I'm going to blend upwards with it. I would like some color, but I don't want to do like too much color today, just because I am tired and I don't want my eyes to look heavy, because I feel like they are a bit heavy right now. Oh, I don't know. Anyways, so my daughter actually lives with my husband and I full time, for no other reason. That's just a decision that she decided to make. But I actually got like, was lots of fuzzies. I got super, super lucky in terms of stepkid and co-parenting with her mother. Her mother and I actually get along so well, which I've heard is like super rare. I feel incredibly lucky. My lips are really dry, so I'm just gonna put on some this. I use this during the day. It's that Laneige, or however you say it, Laneige lip lip mask. I love this. I got this as a sample from Sephora and I'm completely obsessed with it. I put it on basically first thing every morning and it really helps just to keep my lips hydrated while it's so dry outside. The winter just, it makes my lips just, ugh, just nasty. They're so dry. Anyways, so my daughter's mother, her and I get along super well. I'm gonna try this frost kitten, this one right here, and I think I'm actually gonna put it maybe all over the lid for kind of something different. I don't typically do my eyes like this, but I am just feeling like something simple, matte, and pretty. Ooh, it's pretty. I like it. So I just gotta kind of look in my mirror here too so I can see what the heck I'm doing. Anyways, so we get along really well. Part of it is that neither of us are what I'd call a dominant personality. Both of us are pretty just like, oh yeah, no, like just go with the flow, you know, it's all okay. And I think that really helps when you're like that, when you're very much just kind of chill and go with the flow and just realize that like things just kind of happen as they do, that it's not always, nothing has to really be a huge fight. It just needs to be discussed. And I think that's kind of where our strengths lie, is that both of us are aware of that it doesn't need to be a fight. There is no competition. We're in this together. We really are. Like, her and I, we both have to mother this child, and more importantly is that we both want to mother this child. And I think that is honestly what has kind of helped the relationship that I have with her mother to be stable. And that's the best way I can put it, is that the relationship between her and I is very stable and honest. You know, like, obviously stuff comes up with kids all the time. I'm just gonna add just a little bit of darkness, just a little bit. Just kind of want to, it's called Heart Goes Boom, and it's this one right here. And it's really pretty. It's kind of red. So I, totally off topic, but I have been looking for red shadows forever. The perfect red. I know that sounds funny. It's not typically a color that you hear people really wanting. I've been looking for many years, and I've tried a bunch of different ones, and my favorite one is actually Jaclyn Hill from her first palette. She's got, I forget the name of it, but she's got a red one in there, and I love it, but it's almost gone. And most of the other shadows in there are still good, and I don't really want to buy a whole new palette just for the one color. I wish I could buy it individually, kind of like the MAC paint pots. I have other friends who are also step parents and trying to co-parent, and there always seems to be drama and issues with that and with the other party. But you both have to be willing. You both have to say, you know, like, there is history here. This is a whole other person that we're trying to deal with. And if you are going into a relationship with a guy and he has a good co-parenting relationship with his ex, leave it alone. That was one of the first things that I asked my now husband, as I said, do you, like, what's the co-parenting relationship like with your ex? And he said, we have a really good relationship. And I said, great. Because, you know, with both my parents being single at one point, they both dated, obviously. And I went through some really good step parents. I went through some really bad ones. But also I saw the dynamic. It wasn't always good or healthy. There was often fights and disagreements, and nobody saw eye to eye. And I knew that's not what I wanted. So I knew right away that if he was in and out of court and him and his ex didn't communicate, I knew that I wouldn't be able to be in a relationship with him, because that's not what I wanted for my life. And the thing is, you know, before getting in deep with him, I did ask a lot of questions, you know, like, are you sure things are over? They'd been over for 10 years at that point, so they were long over. You know, is there any chance of old feelings? No. Both parties had moved on. She was currently actually pregnant at the time, so that was exciting. So that's, you really got to ask the hard questions if you want to be in a relationship with somebody that has a child with someone else. You got to ask those questions to begin with. Do you guys communicate regularly? If so, do you guys talk like your friends, or do you guys talk just about the child? Like, what's the dynamic here? What's the relationship like? And like I said, for me, they had a good relationship. I was not about to wreck it. So I had to decide at that moment, do I feel threatened by her or not? After meeting her, I realized I had nothing to be concerned with. They were long over, they're friends, and they really only talk about their daughter. So I didn't feel concerned or threatened at all. And her and I ended up forming a friendship, which has been really lovely and easy for all parties involved. I'm just gonna go throw on my mascara and my lashes, and I'll be back in like 2 seconds. So I'm back. I've got my lashes on, I've got my mascara. So I was thinking about just leaving it as is for the eyes, but I think I actually am going to add some of that Heart Goes Boom. That's the one that I added over top, that one there. I think I am going to add it on the bottom. I'm just gonna kind of smoke it out here. It was so nice. So I didn't feel like I had anything to really worry about, which was really kind of refreshing. Especially after like my own personal experiences from being like a step kid and trying to navigate all of that. So, like I said, co-parenting is hard. It's not for everyone. Not everybody has the ability to be like, I don't need to feel threatened. I mean, of course, there are cases. Like, everything is very case by case, very specific, right? So, yes, there are times where, you do gotta worry. Your ex really is kind of, or sorry, your partner is still in love with their ex. That kind of stuff obviously happens, and it sucks. But just, take the necessary steps to make yourself feel better, and then move on. So if you're okay with the situation, leave it alone. If you're not okay with it, then obviously the relationship is not right for you, and that's okay too. That is my own personal experience and kind of how I made it work. And like I said, it's not always been super easy, but I have a really great husband. He's absolutely wonderful. We have made a wonderful child together, and then I love his child from his previous marriage as my own, because I think that every child deserves to be loved and cared for. And I was really kind of nervous about having my son, because I never wanted her. I was really nervous about having our son, because I never wanted her to feel pushed out, like she was less important, just because we were having another baby. So I have gone so far out of my way to make sure that she always feels like she is loved no matter the situation, and that she's included with everything. She's never excluded from anything. She's a part of every aspect of our life, as it should be. But as being a stepkid myself, I didn't always have that experience. I do now, thankfully. My mom is married to a wonderful man, and things are really good on that front. But it wasn't always like that. But yeah, that's basically my story in terms of co-parenting and step parenting, and it's hard. It's not easy, and it's not for everybody, and that's okay. But you gotta do what you gotta do, and if you really want it, really think you can handle it, it's worth a try at the very least. Definitely say too that before having kids and coming into a relationship with my husband, who already had a child, I wasn't entirely sure I wanted kids. I know I always liked kids. I've always been good with kids, but I wasn't sure that it's really what I wanted. But and like, having kids is not for everyone, and don't let anybody guilt you into having kids, because it really does take up every aspect of your life. But for me personally, it really was the best thing that I ever did, and I wouldn't change it for anything. My children are my entire world and everything in it, and I feel very fortunate to have them no matter the struggles, you know, like I'm not exactly getting to do a ton of stuff just for myself. I mean, I'm putting on makeup in between my son's naps and making sure that my daughter's got everything she needs. But it really is absolutely the best thing. But it's not for the faint of heart. That's for sure. It's really not. But it's great nonetheless. Anyways, so I should probably just quickly, because I could just keep babbling about how great my kids are, but I'm not going to do that to you guys. So for my highlighter, I'm again just using my Jaclyn Hill one. Like I said, I don't think they make this anymore, which is so sad because I want more of it, but I believe that you can get all of these colors individually. So that's always nice. I think I just want to put on like, I'm thinking just like a gloss again. I have so many colored lipsticks, and like before COVID, I spent so long purchasing them. I used to wear them all the time, and then I kind of, because of the masks, I stopped wearing them. Even around the house, I was like, what's the point? No one's gonna see it. Love gloss. I absolutely love gloss. This is the Dazzle Glass Sugar Rimmed by MAC. This one is like, it's so sparkly. It's so pretty. I love it. I love it. Now I'm going to bathe in my setting spray. This is the Urban Decay All Nighter. All right, so this is the completed look. I am going to just be leaving my hair up in a bun today on top of my head because I haven't washed my hair, and frankly, I am too tired to deal with it right now. So today's just going to be about getting out of the house. Maybe take the kids to the park if my daughter's feeling up for it, and just trying to enjoy the day and stay awake. For love of God, stay awake. Anyways, I look forward to seeing you guys in my next video, and you guys have a beautiful, wonderful day. Mwah! Love you. Bye.